you might recall that Opie once again was talking about how he can take down Joe Rogan if he wants to.
Oh, yeah.
And we made fun of him for that because Joe Rogan's the biggest podcaster in the world, and you should set your sights a little bit lower since your show is pathetically bad.
Yeah.
Maybe get to a point where you're as good as H3. I don't know. Like something that's attainable.
Yeah.
Right? So Opie heard us loud and clear.
Dude, the Joe Rogan stuff is killing me, Adam Hanley. Why is that killing you, Adam? I actually, whatever. I mentioned Joe Rogan a few times, and boy, did that trigger some people.
Yep.
I mean, if Joe Rogan admits that me and Anthony were an inspiration for what he does today, then why wouldn't I think that I could actually have a better podcast than Joe Rogan? There was a time I was coming up in radio, and I said, I'm going to be better than Howard Stern.
And you didn't accomplish that.
That's not how any of that works.
He goes, why wouldn't I be able to be better than Joe Rogan? I had a really successful radio show with Anthony Cumia and Jim Norton. Yes, we can all agree that radio show was very successful with the very funny people that you had on that show. Joe Rogan is a single entity. I mean, you got Jamie who's checking out YouTube, but it's just Joe. So Opie, I'm assuming this is just going to be Opie interviewing people and you're going to be bigger than Joe Rogan? Where's he get the self-esteem from?
Just this logic that, well, he was inspired by one thing I did 30 years ago. Therefore, right now, I would obviously be better than him. Like,
right.
That's not how any of this works.
That's not how that works at all.
But he does multiple episodes.
Joe Satriani taught Steve Vai how to play guitar.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm sorry, go on.
Well, Opie's doing episodes where he's walking around the beach talking to no one.
Right.
Joe Rogan is actually interviewing people and doing a show.
He built a studio.
Gaining experience and getting better.
Flies people in. Has a producer.
Unfucking believable.
Let's find out the real reason why Opie hates Joe Rogan. Because anytime, he's talking about how we get triggered. Anytime someone brings up Joe Rogan, he gets triggered. Like,
yeah.
well, why Joe Rogan? Why is he so fucking special?
I fly out to L.A. to do a TV show. And I Instagram, I think it was an Instagram post where I posted a picture that I landed in LA. My phone, that picture wasn't even up for a minute. And Rogan is texting me like, you have to do my podcast. And then fast forward a bunch of years, nothing really changed in our relationship, I don't think. And, I'm starting out the podcast and he's in New York City. So I do the same thing. I find out he's in New York City, so I text him to do my podcast. And I certainly could have used the help back then, especially. And I didn't even get a response.
So he's still pissed off that Joe Rogan didn't respond to his text. Opie, you didn't have his number. Joe never got the text message. The only thing that he saw was the video follow-up you had of you acting like a lunatic in New York City with your phone twirling around like you're the singer of U2. Dude, why are you still mad at Joe Rogan for not going on your podcast? He didn't get the message. Maybe try different channels.
It's so ridiculous.
Also, I want to point out, yes, Joe Rogan used to be on Opie and Anthony, and yes, he was a fan of Opie and Anthony, and he's talked about that. But the inspiration for his podcast came from Anthony Cumia doing the live from the compound shit that he used to do from his house. Joe Rogan has said this many times. I was inspired by the fact that you were broadcasting from your house. It's not about you, Opie. It has nothing to do with you. So, Opie, there's this Patrice O'Neal doc that's coming out. Or maybe it just came out. I haven't seen it yet. Opie sat down for an hour with these people and filmed an interview about Patrice O'Neal. And man, Opie has fallen so far. He's not even confident that he'll be in it for a second.
Dude, I gotta do this now. I gotta do this now. Go. That's it. Go.
That's his dog.
So even though I talked to them for an hour, I think I'd be surprised if I'm in this thing for 2 minutes. I hope I'm in it just to represent. I know I did some pretty good things.
Does that sound like a guy who's confident? I hope I'm in it for a second.